Eddie Murphy is known for his calm and composed nature, rarely raising his voice or making a scene. However, when certain actors crossed lines, he quietly distanced himself from them, making sure to erase them from his world. These 6 actors were once in his circle, but ultimately broke trust with him. They did not just lose roles, they lost the opportunity to work with one of Hollywood's greatest. Murphy did not need to shout his anger. Their actions spoke louder than any words. He may not have exploded, but he never forgot those who wasted his time. Before we dive into video, please subscribe to our channel. Eddie Murphy's career has spanned over 5 decades, making him one of Hollywood's most iconic figures. Known for his versatility, he has seamlessly transitioned from stand-up comedy to blockbuster films, earning acclaim as a groundbreaking actor, producer, and writer. His legacy is built not only on his comedic brilliance, but also on his ability to create unforgettable characters and stories that resonate with audiences worldwide. Murphy's work ethic is known to be perfectionist, demanding both excellence and loyalty from everyone involved in his projects. This approach to filmmaking built an empire of drama and comedy, elevating his standing in the industry. In his world, trust is paramount. Murphy has always been clear about his expectations. Respect the craft, respect the team, and respect the collaborative process. For him, working on set is not just about delivering a good performance. It's about creating an environment where every cast member is in sync. When an actor betrays that trust, it's not just about personal disappointment. It disrupts the entire rhythm of the project. Murphy believes in keeping things professional, but he's also aware that when someone goes off beat, it can tarnish the magic. The actors who once had the opportunity to collaborate with Murph, but broke that trust, were never the same in his eyes. Murphy is known for not being one to publicly lash out or create drama. Instead, he silently closes the door, knowing that the damage is done. These 6 actors had their shot, but could not maintain the harmony needed to stay in his circle. Once trust is broken, there's no going back, and Murphy's silence speaks louder than any words could. Number 1. Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes was cast alongside Eddie Murphy in the 1995 film Vampire in Brooklyn, with both stars expected to create a memorable dynamic. Snipes, known for his intense roles, and Murphy, famed for his comedic genius, seemed to be a perfect pairing. However, it did not take long for differences to surface. Snipes' unpredictable and often intense behavior clashed with Murphy's laid-back and professional work ethic. Murphy quickly grew frustrated with Snipes' refusal to adhere to the established process, and the tension between them became apparent. Snipes, feeling that he deserved more respect, began to display an ego-driven attitude that irritated Murphy, creating a difficult atmosphere on set. The conflict reached its peak during a pivotal scene when Snipes refused to cooperate with Murphy's direction. Murphy, who is known for his patience, was deeply offended by Snipes' unwillingness to follow his vision for the film. The tension became unbearable, leading to an uncomfortable working environment for the entire cast and crew. The film's production was affected, and it became evident that Snipes' refusal to work in harmony with Murphy would lead to an irreparable rift. After filming wrapped, the fallout from their conflict was clear. While Murphy is known for being professional and rarely burning bridges, he reportedly made it known that he would not work with Snipes again. Their professional relationship ended quietly but definitively, and Snipes was erased from Murphy's world. From that moment on, they never spoke again, marking the end of what could have been a powerful collaboration. Number 2. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson and Eddie Murphy shared a bond that was more than just professional. They had a friendship that many believed would last a lifetime. The two first collaborated on the iconic music video for Remember the Time, where Murphy played the role of the Pharaoh in Jackson's visually stunning video. Their chemistry on set was undeniable, and Murphy, who had great respect for Jackson's talent, admired his creativity and musical genius. Their friendship, however, would soon be tested by personal issues and differences that gradually caused a rift between them. As time passed, the media began to speculate about the nature of their relationship. While their professional collaboration was successful, personal tensions started to build. Murphy, who had always been a private person, began to feel uneasy about Jackson's unpredictable behavior, particularly his obsession with his public image and personal life. The rumors about Jackson's lifestyle, his eccentricities, and his controversial decisions began to make Murphy uncomfortable. While Murphy had always supported his friend, there was a sense of disconnection that grew over time. The conflict came to a head when the two had a falling out regarding their personal differences. Murphy, who valued professionalism and trust, felt that Jackson's erratic behavior and lack of transparency made it difficult for them to remain close. Though they never openly confronted one another about their issues, their friendship began to quietly fade. There was no dramatic falling out. Rather, it was a slow, unspoken realization that their paths had diverged too far. After their fallout, both Murphy and Jackson continued to thrive in their respective careers, but their once close friendship was never the same. Murphy quietly distanced himself, and from that moment on, Jackson was no longer a part of his world. Despite their shared history, the bond between them had been broken. Number 3. Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy shared a deep mutual respect for each other's comedic genius, with Murphy often citing Pryor as one of his biggest inspirations. The two had a complicated relationship, built on admiration, rivalry, and occasional tension. Murphy was always seen as the heir to Pryor's throne, and although there was a deep bond, there were moments when their careers and personalities clashed. They first worked together on Beverly Hills Cop 2, where their shared sense of humor and understanding of comedy brought them closer. However, this collaboration would eventually be overshadowed by personal and professional issues. Pryor's increasingly erratic behavior, which included struggles with addiction and personal demons, began to create tension between the two. Murphy, who had a more disciplined and controlled approach to his career, found it difficult to deal with Pryor's unpredictable nature. While Murphy respected Pryor's brilliance, the chaos surrounding him, particularly his battles with substance abuse, strained their working relationship. As the two continued their careers, Murphy found himself growing more distant from Pryor, feeling that his personal struggles were seeping into their professional work. The turning point came when Pryor's actions off-screen began to overshadow their collaboration. One of the most notorious incidents involved a moment when Pryor publicly criticized Murphy's rise to stardom, claiming that Murphy's success was built on imitation rather than innovation. This comment hurt Murphy deeply, as he had always viewed Pryor as a mentor and friend. From that point forward, their relationship became strained, and though they continued to express admiration for each other, their bond had been irreparably broken. After their fallout, Murphy's distance from Pryor was evident, and while both men went on to have legendary careers, the once strong friendship was no more. They never fully reconciled, and Pryor's name was quietly erased from Murphy's inner circle. Their relationship was a blend of love, rivalry, and broken trust, ultimately fading into silence. Number 4. Nick Nolte. Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte's first collaboration came with the 1982 film 48 Hours, a gritty, fast-paced action comedy that showcased the strong chemistry between the two actors. Murphy, in his breakout role, played a wisecracking convict paired with Nolte's tough, no-nonsense cop. The film became a major hit, launching Murphy's career and cementing Nolte as a veteran in Hollywood. However, beneath the success of their pairing, a simmering tension began to develop between the two stars. It was clear that while their on-screen dynamic worked well, their off-screen personalities could not have been more different. Nick Nolte, known for his unpredictable and sometimes abrasive demeanor, struggled with maintaining professionalism on set. His brashness and volatile temper often clashed with Murphy's more controlled and measured approach. Nolte's struggles with substance abuse also added a layer of complexity to their relationship. As the production of 48 Hours continued, Murphy, who prided himself on his work ethic and focus, began to feel frustrated with Nolte's lack of consistency. The tension was palpable, and while they were able to work through it during filming, the cracks in their relationship were evident. The breaking point came when Nolte's behavior became too erratic to ignore. In one particularly heated incident, Nolte's disrespectful attitude toward Murphy caused a rift that could not be repaired. Nolte's tendency to ignore Murphy's input on set and dismiss his creative contributions left Murphy feeling disrespected and undervalued. The divide grew as Nolte's off-screen behavior became more difficult to manage, and Murphy, who believed in collabo, ration, and mutual respect, found it harder to continue working with Nolte. After filming wrapped, the tension between them continued to fester. Though both actors went on to enjoy successful careers, Murphy made it clear that he had no intention of working with Nolte again. Their relationship ended quietly but decisively, and Nolte's name was quietly erased from Murphy's world. The once promising collaboration had turned into a lesson in the importance of mutual respect and professionalism. Number 5. Charlie Murphy. Charlie Murphy and Eddie Murphy had a unique and complex relationship, marked by both deep admiration and occasional rivalry. As brothers, they shared a bond that went beyond the professional world, and Charlie often worked closely with Eddie on comedy projects. Charlie, known for his work as a writer and performer on Chappelle's Show and his own stand-up, was always in Eddie's shadow, but their shared passion for comedy kept them connected. However, beneath the surface, their careers often mirrored each other in ways that led to personal and professional conflicts. While Eddie was the more famous of the two, Charlie's comedic talents were undeniable, and he carved his own path in the industry. However, as their careers progressed, Charlie began to feel overshadowed by his brother's success. Eddie's fame and recognition often left Charlie feeling like he was constantly trying to step out from his sibling's shadow. At times, this led to feelings of resentment, particularly when Eddie was offered roles or projects that Charlie felt he could have contributed to. The unspoken rivalry between the two grew, even as they continued to collaborate professionally. The most significant strain in their relationship came when Charlie, in his frustration, began publicly discussing his feelings about being compared to Eddie. He felt as though his comedic identity was out, ways linked to his brother's legacy, and he struggled to establish his own unique place in the industry. This tension became more evident as the brothers navigated the ups and downs of their careers, with Charlie expressing his dissatisfaction with the lack of recognition he received for his own contributions. Despite the ups and downs, Charlie and Eddie's relationship was never truly severed, but it became strained to the point where they kept their distance in later years. Charlie's untimely death in 2017 left Eddie with a sense of loss, but it also left behind unresolved tensions about their careers. Although their professional relationship was not as publicly fractured as those with other actors, the emotional distance between them was palpable. Number 6. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry and Eddie Murphy's relationship began with a promising collaboration on the 2012 film 1,000 Words. Perry, a well-established director, producer, and actor known for his work in comedy and drama, was excited to work with Murphy, who brought his signature energy and humor to the project. Initially, their collaboration seemed like a match made in Hollywood heaven, with both men having long careers built on delivering laughs while also exploring deeper themes. However, their professional relationship would soon become strained, revealing differences that would affect their future interactions. The conflict arose during the production of 1,000 Words, when it became clear that the two had differing visions for the film. While Perry, known for his specific style and control over his productions, expected Murphy to fully embrace the tone and direction of the film, Murphy felt that the direction was limiting his creative expression. Murphy, with his vast experience in both comedic and dramatic roles, began to clash with Perry's rigid approach to the material. Their disagreement was rooted in a fundamental difference in how they saw the film's potential, and it created a tense working environment on set. The situation came to a head when Perry reportedly pushed for certain changes to the script, and Murphy refused to follow them. Murphy, known for his ability to improvise and bring his own flavor to his roles, found the creative restrictions too much to handle. Perry's insistence on sticking to the script left little room for Murphy's improvisational style, and it became a point of contention that neither could resolve. The rift was never publicly acknowledged, but it was clear that the two stars were no longer in sync. After 1,000 Words wrapped, the tension between Perry and Murphy remained, and they did not collaborate on any future projects. Murphy's silence regarding their fallout was telling. He quietly distanced himself from Perry, and their professional relationship effectively ended. Though Perry continued to rise as a successful director and Murphy continued his iconic career, the bond between them was never rekindled, and they both moved forward in separate directions. In Eddie Murphy's world, it was not just about talent. It was about maintaining harmony and trust. These 6 actors, despite their immense talent and fame, broke that unspoken rhythm, whether through ego, disrespect, or creative differences. Murphy's silent distancing was his way of preserving the integrity of his work and the collaborative spirit he values so much. In Hollywood, where many rise and fall based on relationships, these actors learned the hard way that without mutual respect and understanding, even the most successful collaborations can fall apart. Murphy's silence speaks louder than words ever could.